Arsenal, S tier. Champions last season with 85 points and a plus 44 goal difference. That gap is the whole reason they're alone at the top of this list. A 9-point cushion over second place isn't a narrow title, it's a statement. Every other club in the league is now building their season around stopping them, and that target on their back is its own kind of pressure. Staying in S tier is always harder than reaching it. Manchester City, A tier. Finished second, 78 points, still Champions League class. That's not decline, that's bad timing against a genuinely great Arsenal side. Manchester United, A tier. Third place, 71 points, their best finish in years, built on the back of a record-breaking season from their own captain. Nobody predicted this 12 months ago. Reputation said mid-table project, the table said Champions League. The table wins that argument every time. Aston Villa, A tier. Fourth, back in the Champions League, and now genuinely part of the conversation instead of gatecrashing it. Fourth place 2 seasons running is a pattern, not a fluke. That's what separates having a good year from actually establishing yourself in a tier. Liverpool, A tier. Fifth, still Champions League football, still one of the most dangerous away days in the league, even in a transition year. A tier isn't just about who's flying, it's about who's dangerous even when things aren't perfect behind the scenes. Liverpool stayed lethal on the pitch regardless of what was happening off it. Bournemouth, B tier. Sixth place and into Europe. A club that used to be a plucky survival story is now a legitimate top-half operation. That jump is one of the quietest transformations in the league. Sunderland, B tier. Straight back into the top flight and straight into Europe in the same breath. That's not a fluke. That's a club that built something real in the championship and brought it upstairs intact. Squad, system, and manager all surviving the jump, which is the part most promoted clubs get wrong. Brighton, B tier. Conference League qualification, yet again, on a budget most of this league would consider embarrassing to admit to. The most efficient club in England, they've turned sell your best player every summer and still qualify for Europe into a repeatable system. Crystal Palace, B tier. Won a European trophy outright last season. Football is very strange sometimes, and a cup win like that earns real tier credit even without a matching league finish. Now the twist tier. Chelsea, C tier. Newcastle, C tier. Tottenham, C tier. 3 enormous clubs, 3 huge fan bases, 3 sets of expensive signings, and none of them played in Europe last season. Size doesn't guarantee a tier. Results do. 3 of English football's biggest, richest, most historically decorated clubs finished outside the European places entirely. Not relegated, not in crisis. Just ordinary, for one season, by their own standards. The table doesn't ask for your fan base size before it ranks you, and it definitely doesn't care how much you spent getting there. Nottingham Forest, C tier. Stayed comfortably mid-table after their European push the year before cooled off. Consolidating, not collapsing. There's a real difference between a club sliding and a club catching its breath. And Fulham, C tier. Everton, C tier. Brentford, C tier. The unglamorous, unbothered middle of the table. Nobody's writing documentaries about them. Nobody needs to. Mid-table stability, season after season, is genuinely rare in this league and rarely gets credit for how hard it is to maintain. Leeds United, D tier. Survived their first season back up, barely, the hard way. Staying up was the achievement. Everything else is a bonus, and a club that spends its first year back in survival mode hasn't earned tier credit yet. Coventry City, D tier. 25 years away from the top flight and straight into an opening game away at the champions. Welcome back doesn't begin to cover it. No current player in that squad has ever started a Premier League match, and that inexperience is exactly what keeps a newly promoted club anchored at the bottom of a tier list regardless of ambition. Ipswich Town, D tier. Promoted again, tested again, still working out whether last time was a lesson learned or a lesson about to repeat itself. A second promotion in a short window is genuinely impressive, but this ranking cares about proven Premier League stability, and Ipswich hasn't had the chance to prove that yet. Hull City, D tier. Came up through the playoffs, the hardest route into this league that exists, against a division that eats newly promoted teams alive. Playoff promoted teams historically struggle more than automatic promotions in their first season, and that's all 20. No mystery box left at the bottom. Just 3 new clubs walking into the most unforgiving league on the planet, with no idea yet which direction the season bends for them. Notice something about that bottom tier, though. It isn't a punishment, it's a starting line. Every club in this league's history that's ever won anything meaningful started exactly 1 rung above where these 3 are standing right now. Sunderland were down here 2 years ago. Look at their tier this time. A tier isn't a life sentence. Sunderland went from the Championship to Europe in 1 summer. Wolves went from mid-table to relegated in 1 summer. The table resets every single year, and every single year, somebody's reputation collides with their actual results. And it's happening again right now. This season kicks off a week later than usual, on the 22nd of August, pushed back to let players recover from the World Cup, which means every club in this list gets less preseason, less recovery time, and less room for error before the games that actually count. The gap between reputation and reality tends to show up fastest, exactly when preparation time gets cut short. Big squads with deep benches absorb a short preseason and barely notice. Thin squads don't get that luxury. Watch the first 6 weeks of this season closely, because that's usually where you can already see which tier a club is quietly sliding toward, long before anyone official admits it. So zoom out. 20 clubs, 5 tiers, one number that actually decided all of it. Where you finished, not who you are. The big names sitting in the middle tier this season aren't an accident, and the promoted clubs sitting at the bottom aren't a guarantee they'll stay there. Tiers move, reputations lag. The table, as always, doesn't care about either one. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.